Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a 2-month wrap up because I didn't do February's. I read a lot of books. February I read a total of 10 books, which is a lot for February since February had the shortest days. Let's just quickly go through February's and then we'll get to March's. The first book I read in February was Wolfgang Wilde. I read it as an ebook, so I'll put the picture up right here. I've kind of talked about this in my last wrap up because I kind of got confused, and like I said, it was for January when I read it in February. But anyway, it's paranormal romance. It's really interesting. It follows 6 different sisters. They're all witches, but they each have different powers. And we're following one of the sisters. I believe her name is Evie, or I could be mixing that up. Don't quote me on that. She is a hex breaker, and this guy who's a werewolf comes to her because he thinks that he has a hex on him because he hasn't been able to shift in like 3 months. So they're trying to figure out what kind of hex it could have been, like what happened, who could have put it on him, how to take it off. But along with that, there's a romance between the 2 characters, and it's just so cute, and I love it so much. The next book I read was also another ebook, and that was A Deeper Fear by Allison Brennan. This one's a novella for the Lucy Kincaid series. I love the series so much. This one was really good. I really did like it because we got to see another like side of one of the main character. Because in the previous book he kind of went through an ordeal with like his past coming back in, and it's just like he's having to deal with the aftermath of all that and just like coping with everything that happened and everything, and so it's pretty hard, and I love seeing that aspect on him. And then we get more of the conflict between the romance characters, and it's just so good to see them overcome all this together and everything they're going through. So I just really love it. I do wish it was just a little bit longer, but it was a novella, so I get that. But I wish the next book that comes on the series, maybe we'll still see more of him still dealing with the aftermath of everything that happened. So I can't wait for that. And the next book I read was Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. This one was a book of the month pick, but I found it at half-price books really cheap, so that's good. I read this pretty quick. It was really fun, interesting read. I will say sometimes it was slow, but I don't mind that too much, so I did really enjoy this. Yeah, I don't know what else more to say. It's just a historical romance, and it kind of deals with like the women's suffrages movement and all that and stuff like that. I really liked it. The next book I read was Saga. I only have volume 4, but I read volume 7 in February as like an ebook sort of, but I only have volume 4, so that's what I'm holding up in place of 7. So yeah, I really like this series, and I can't wait to continue. I know there's 9 so far, and they took a break, but they're thinking about coming back. I don't know when, but hopefully soon, because I really do like this series. It's really interesting. It's a sci-fi, and I don't really know how to explain it too well. I've talked about it before. Like, these 2 main characters are on opposite sides of this war, and they fall in love, and they end up having a baby, but like people are trying not to kill them because they don't want other people to know that like these 2 opposites of these alien races at war can actually like coexist and all that. So yeah. The next book I read was Don't Hex and Drive. This one was also an ebook, and it's the second book in the I don't know what it's called, something like Spell, but it's the second one to the Wolfgang Wilde book, and it follows another sister, forgetting her name, but she's a conduit, yeah, and the love interest is a vampire, and he's kind of like more of a special kind of vampire. I guess he's kind of like their bounty hunter vampire type, and he has like some extra abilities on top of normal vampire abilities, and they're trying to solve this. There's been these like strings of disappearances, and it's led back to it being vampires who have kidnapped these women, and I think are using them to sell like the blood on the black market or something like that. So they're trying to find them and stop them. So it was really interesting, and along with that, of course, it's a romance, so I love it. Next book I read is Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas, and this one was just a reread because I was getting ready for Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, and so I was up to this one and wanted to read it. Still love it. Nothing else to say really. The next book was also another reread, Allison Zombieland. I have talked about this. It's not for everyone. It's an older YA paranormal romance type book. I read it when I was also pretty young, and it has a special place in my heart, and I really love it, even though it is pretty like cringy and not the best, but I just still love the characters, love the plot, I love everything, and I wanted to annotate it, which I don't know if you can see, but I did that. But it's not for everyone, but I still really love it. And the next book I read was A Quart of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. This is a novella that people don't like it because there's just nothing really to it, which I mean there isn't. It's just kind of showing you where everyone is kind of after the first 3 books and before A Quart of Silver Flames, just to kind of like see how they're dealing with all the aftermath and just where everyone's at. So there's really no plot in this. It's more characters, like about the characters, and you kind of see where Nesta is before her book. So I mean, I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It was good just to see extras about like the characters and all. This book I read was Heartstopper Volume 1. Again, I don't own this book, but I did read it physical. I don't own it. It was just a cute short read. I really enjoyed it, and I want to continue with it, but it was so cute. I totally recommend it. It's about these 2 boys, and there's like a romance between them, but one of them, he's not out yet, or he doesn't really know his sexuality, I guess, until he meets the other guy. He's like, he starts kind of like getting feelings for him, and so he's like kind of like, you know, thinking about, you know, who he is, you know, all that. So it was really cute, and I can't wait to continue. The last and final book is no other than A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas, and it was good. I really enjoyed it, and I did film a reading vlog for this, but I haven't even started editing it. I've been so busy and everything, so hopefully it came out good enough for me to post. And if it is, I don't know if it'll be up before or after this, but totally check it out. It has more of my feelings in there, so can't wait. Next, we have the books I read in March. For this month, I read a total of 12 books, so that's a lot. I don't know how I'm doing this. Usually it's my most is like maybe 5 or so. Like that's like seems to be, you know, the theme. But lately I've been reading like so much, which I'm not complaining. I want to, but it's just not the norm for me. So I'm really surprised and thankful that I'm reading this much. So let's get right into it. The first book is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This one I've seen in so many videos by people that I trust recommendations, like YouTubers, because like I read some same stuff as them, and I love this so much. It's really hard to explain, but it mainly has like classic literature fiction characters, but kind of like a twist on it. So it also features Sherlock Holmes, but one of the main characters is Mary Jekyll, and another one is Diana Hyde from the story Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And there's also 2 Frankenstein. There's Moreau, which I didn't really know the story of, but there's a story of it. There is Rappaccini, so many. And then I've so far only read the first 2. I'm on the 3rd. Then we get kind of more like Dracula and Van Helsing, and you know, just stuff like that, like gothic classic literature, and you kind of get that in here, plus other historical references and stuff, along with mysteries. And then this found family, all these girls, because like they've been kind of like, you know, they've either been kind of like created like a connection in a way because of that, and so there's found family. They're solving these like murders, this mystery, all this and that. It's just so good. I totally recommend. I loved it, and I love these covers too, uninspiring. Like look how simple and classic that looks. so gorgeous. The next book I read, I got it when it came out, and I read it like the day of, and I read it so fast and it was so good. That is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This is the second book to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yeah, that's the one. And oh my gosh, I love this one. I think I might like this one a little bit more than the first one. A lot of people don't, so I think I might just be like an unbiased opinion, but this one literally made me bawl my eyes at the end, and I was just so like intrigued, and I wanted to keep on going. You wanted to know what was going on, and it was just so good. I loved it. The next one I read is Teen Titans Beast Boy. This is just a graphic novel. In the Teen Titans series, I read the Raven one, and then this one, I think the next one's supposed to be both Raven and Beast Boy together. So they're just, you know, pretty fun, interesting reads. So yeah. The next one is the second book, The European Travels for the Monstrous Gentlewoman by Theodore Goss. This one is a chunky one, yes, but it was so good, and we got more traveling in this one. We were in Europe, you know, different places like that, and it was just so good. And plus, the thing I didn't say about this is the way it's written. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically these characters are writing a book about everything they've been through. So this book is like the book that they're writing about, you know, everything they've been through, the mysteries they're solving, all that. So you're reading, like, you're kind of like reading the book that they're writing, but at the same time, you see right here, they kind of like interrupt the book at the moment they're writing it, and like kind of like comment on stuff, but like this is them in the future because they've already been through all this stuff, and they're writing about their past. So you're reading the past, but then the interject, and these are like the future them commenting on certain stuff. So it's just really funny and cool and interesting, and I really enjoyed it. I love the characters, the plot, just everything about this book. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. The next book I read was Tools of Engagement. I read this on audiobook. I don't own the book. This one is by Tessa Bailey, following characters from the books Fix Her Up and Love Her or Lose Her. Kind of like connected with that a little bit. But this one was really good. I did really like this one a lot. I love our main character and everything that happened, and then we get like cowboy from Texas, and you know, I'm in Texas. I love that aspect. But I just really enjoyed it. It was really fun, quick romance read, and I was here for it. The next book was Fangs. This is another kind of like graphic novel one. It was really short. It's really cute. It's about like this romance between a vampire and a werewolf, but it was just so funny and cute and really short, and I loved it so much. The next book I have is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. This is the third book in the All Souls trilogy, the Discover Witches series, and I just needed to finish this because I've been wanting to, but I just didn't really want to because I love this world, these characters, so I didn't really want to finish it, but I knew I had to because I really wanted to know what happens, and I did. I finished it. I loved it. I love this series so much, these characters, this world, and I really enjoyed this, and I'm so happy I read it. I can't wait for the third season to come out on the show. The show is good. I was a little disappointed on some things, but I still really enjoyed it and really like it, and I can't wait to continue with it. The book is always going to have a place in my heart. The next book I read is Once Upon a Quinceanera by Monica Gomez-Ira. This one was really good. I read it for, I believe, the Becca's Bookopoly-a-thon, the 48-hour one, and it was just so good. I related to so many aspects of this so much. I love seeing you know, Latinas in books. I can relate to that. But some of this, especially with like family dynamics and aspects, I related to it so much. It made me cry. It made me feel so many things. I personally loved it, especially because I had a connection to certain aspects of this book. I really loved it a lot. The next book I read, also for the same readathon, was The Heiress Gets a Duke by Harper St. George. This one's pretty short. I got it from Book of the Month. It was an add-on. This one's a really cute historical romance. Like, I really did like it. It was really good. It was really fast-paced, big letterings, and I totally recommend. I really liked it. The next one I read also for the 48-hour readathon was Skyward Volume 1. This is a graphic novel, and it's a really interesting graphic novel. It's kind of like, I guess there's no more gravity, so it's kind of hard to explain, but I really liked it. I love the art style, I love the plot, the characters, and I can't wait to continue with it. So the next book I read was an ebook, and it was Dear Love, I Hate You by Elia Greenwood. Now, I've read this author since she was on Wattpad, and I loved her books. This one's a new one that she released, and I read it, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was so good, really good. And I read it pretty quick, and I just love it. Like, there's not much to say. I mean, it's not for everyone because it's kind of like, you know, when you think of Wattpad, you know, sometimes it's not really like the best, but I really enjoyed them. I really love them, so I was so happy that she came out with this one and that I read it, and I liked it. The last and final book I read in March was Riri of Do the Zombie Glass by Gina Showalter. This is the second book in the White Rabbit, I don't know if it's like Chronicles or series or something like that. Yeah, White Rabbit Chronicles. This is the second book to the Allison Zombieland, and this one has to be maybe one of my favorites in the series. Like, this one just gives me all the feels, like literally all the feels. It makes me sad, it makes me happy, it makes me mad, it makes me want to cry, it makes me like everything. Like, I loved it so much. And again, I annotated this and oh my god, like look at that, I annotated a lot because I love this book so much. Am I still talking about it? Because it's not for everyone. So that is all the books I have to talk about today. That is my wrap up of February and March. Hopefully I can get back on to schedule with my monthly wrap up, so I don't have a long one like this one again for like 2 or more months, because this was a hefty one. But thank you so much for watching. If you have read any of these books, or you want to read any of these books, please comment down below. I would love to chat with y'all, and I hope you like this. Please like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.